But let's be clear, America is not having a moment. What is happening in the United States is not an aberration. And it did not begin with Donald Trump. It is the predictable outcome of decades of deliberate Republican strategy, a strategy that chose racial scapegoating and minority rule, and oligarch control over democratic governance.
That's right. That's right.
You want me to say something? Fine. I'll say something. You people, you're not a race. You are a virus. You destroy the world. Everything beautiful you poison. You drag us from our homes, you rape our daughters, murder our sons. You crack our spines and do all you can to break our will. You stab us. Then you put the knife in our hand and tell us it's our fault. And if you don't do it yourself, you stand by, close your eyes, and pretend there's nothing wrong. And then you pray to your God to silence our screams so that you can enjoy the happiness that we built for you with our blood. But it's not your fault. It's the only way you know how to be. And the only thing that will change anything is if another virus comes along and does to you what you do to us. And I hope that happens.
This is not a virus. This is not an accident. It is who they are. They don't know any other way to be. And so those so-called traditional Republicans that are all on board now with getting Trump out, those Republicans did not merely fail to stop this slide. All right. They engineered it. They normalized it. They protected it. Remember Sarah Palin? Oh, we're going to get into it tonight or today. It's today for you. It's tonight for us. And so did the corporate Dems, all right? So did they with their silence, their capitulations, and their corruption too, all right? No, America is not having a moment. This is who America is, and we've been telling folks that since the beginning, but they weren't trying to hear all that. But now that a white woman got shot in the face, now all of a sudden they hear us. No, it's not having a moment. It's entering a late-stage systemic breakdown. I'm just saying.
And the latest evidence is not theoretical anymore.
Right?
It's literally bullets on the street. On January 7th, 2026, Renee Nicole Good, a U.S. citizen, poet, writer, wife, mother of three, was shot and killed by an ICE agent during a federal immigration operation in Minneapolis, just miles from where George Floyd was murdered. So I ask all of the folks who are saying that we are fear mongering, tell that to Renee's kids and family. To all the Black folks who believe that they are fighting on behalf of the ancestors, my question is this. The US government went on live TV and lied. They said, do not believe what you saw. Don't believe your lying eyes on all those videos. Don't believe that. Believe only what I am saying. This is not speculation. This is not hyperbole. This is happening right now.
All right, y'all. So drop it in the chat. If legitimacy is being replaced by force, legitimacy, right? We could trust that if some like this went down, maybe in 2012, that the federal government would say, oh, hell no. They would at least pretend to care. But now, with no legitimacy, and we talked about this, we have talked about this time and time again, when the state loses legitimacy, everything breaks down. And they're replacing it with force. So what is your first strategic move? Let us know in the chat. What is your first strategic move going to be? Because the ish is out. All right. A second passport. B, banking and income diversification. C, residency abroad. Or D, community networks. E, all of the above. What is going to be your strategic move? What is going to be your first strategic move, y'all? All right. We do not have time to wait. The members of this channel and Rick and I, we were chitty chatting before we go live. So if you're not a member, join us.
Yeah.
We don't put anything behind the paywall. All right. We're not that good of accountants. We're just not. Nothing is behind the paywall except for our time. But all the information is out there for free. But if you want to chitty chat with us behind the scenes and support this channel, that's what we do. And we were talking, folks are getting nervous, y'all. And I hope that you're not just getting nervous, that you're not just panicking, but you're planning, because tonight's analysis is grounded in 4 books. All right. The Fourth Turning, Generational Crisis Theory. Links to these books are in the description below. The Color of Law, State-Created Segregation. The ISIS Papers, Systems of Dominance Under Threat, and of course, On Tyranny, How Democracies Decay into Force. Plus, we're also going to, we've been studying, y'all, contemporary reporting and analysis from journalists and economic historians who track these systems, track the systems, not just feelings. And we're not here to react emotionally, okay? We ain't got time for that. We are here to interpret reality structurally, so our community can act with clarity and with strategy. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to talk about all of that and a lot more. We're going to introduce us. Y'all, my name's Elise.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia. Utopia.
What we doing? Who we at? Where we at?
Our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, we talk about travel and life abroad. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan, get the money straight so you can retire on time or maybe even abroad.
And early is good too.
I know this is a serious subject, y'all. And I know you see me giggling because we happy. Our tax dollars are not going to pay for that nonsense, all right? Because we do not live in the United States. We live in Lisbon, Portugal. And we have permanent residency in Mexico. And we are looking for residencies in other countries as we speak. All right. That's what we're doing. What are you doing? All right. All right, sweetie. What are we talking about today?
Hey, y'all. America is unraveling. And we're going to be talking about that and also why the ICE killing of Renee Good really matters. You know, today we will name the structural crisis we're in, explain why Renee Good's killing matters systemically, and apply historical warnings on tyranny, and show why reform is no longer the mechanism.
Yeah. We are so far off base, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to lay out real strategic moves for Black Americans, all right? Whether you're living in the US or not, okay? No panic, no false comfort, just clarity and options, all right? But first, if you're new to our channel, you might not know. Back in 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call, y'all.
Wake up.
We were getting close to retirement age. We looked at our money and it looked cray-cray.
It was crazy. Crazier than the melon felon.
Yeah, it was. But we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. Yeah, if we can do that,
you can do it too.
You can do it too. Seriously. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, we need you to subscribe. We're still trying to get to 100,000 before our 4th anniversary. We know it's a slow crawl, but we need you to subscribe. We know a lot of people are watching and think that they're subscribed because the feed just keeps feeding our videos to you, but you might not be subscribed. Hit that notification bell twice so that you know every single time that we go live or drop a new video, and
give that thumbs up
so that YouTube knows this is information that our community needs. All right. Our community needs. All right. we're going to say hello to the folks who are in the chat, but first we're going to get to the first part, the system. All right. Because the crash is real. All right. System collapse does not begin with riots.
No, it doesn't.
All right. It begins with elites losing faith in the system that they publicly defended. All right. We see this in unsustainable federal debt, out of control, right? Capital and money quietly leaving the United States. Hello. We see foreign holders reducing dollar exposure. Do you know what that means? Foreign holders are getting rid of their dollars. All right. Rich folks are quietly moving their money out of the United States. This is happening right now, folks. All right. Erosion of reserve currency privilege, right? The dollar has been the reserve currency since the ending of World
For
War
a
II,
long
basically,
time. Yeah.
right? This is stage 3 of every collapsing empire, all right? It is the silent exit. And that's what people are doing, especially those who have lots of choices, right? Because they've got lots of money.
Yeah.
They're not panicking. They're positioning themselves. And we have been talking about diversifying your currencies ad nauseum. You should no longer have all of your cash in one currency and in one country, especially in the United States. Especially in the United States.
Right.
All right. Because that currency is going down. We have lost 15% of the value of our money in our savings account. 15%. When we moved here, it was €1 equal $1. Now it's €1 equals only 85 cents. This is what we're going through. And still we're living just fine.
Yeah.
Because we made sure that our cost of living was very, very low, right? We don't need a bunch of stuff and things to be impressing people that we don't like. We just need travel money. All right.
So, those days are over. If you need help with how to do that, we do one-on-one coaching.
That's right. You need help on how to get out, how to change your currency or have currency outside of the United States, et cetera, et cetera. We do have one-on-one coaching. All right. That information is in the description below. All right. Let's say, oh, we got a new member. Let's put her on there. Oh, I didn't even see Marguerite. DJ, welcome to the Utopian family.
Yes,
we appreciate you. And
hey,
Marguerite, thank you for the super sticker. Y'all know every single donation that comes into Our Black Utopia goes to our scholarship fund. Our scholarship fund is for Beyond the Bling. That is our financial freedom program for late bloomers, just like ourselves. It's self-paced, but it does come with monthly group coaching with Rick and myself. And we just had our January group coaching yesterday. Yesterday. All right. Okay. And also, for those of you watching who've already done the side hustle challenge, we were supposed to meet yesterday too, but nobody showed up.
We were there.
We were waiting. So, side hustle challenge comes with ongoing coaching so we can all hold each other accountable, but we got to show up. All right. So if you have taken the side hustle challenge, check your email, especially if you did the last 2 this year. Check your email. All right. Who else is in the chat? Let's go all the way up to the top and say hello, Karen Louise. How are you? Good to see you're back. New picture. Badia is in the house. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Wanda.
Hey, Wanda.
And Bobby is in the house. Sarah and Urban Travel Girl. C Pointer. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hey, Allison.
Hey, Allison.
Of course, half y'all. We just saw y'all before we got started. Right, Allison? Pearl Girl is in the house. Gwyneth Derrick is in the house. Hey there. Peggy is in the house. Good to see you. This is a new Inton Gale, NTN Gale 10. New name. Hello. Hey, Venus. Good to see you.
Hey,
Professor
Venus
is in the house. Yes. Amber Anderson. Good to see you. Yakota.
Hey, Yakota.
Good to see you. Sanji is in the house. Miriam, house sitting retiree. We've got Marguerite. Thank you. Shara J. All right, y'all. We are going to keep it going. You know the deal. I should put up, let me go over to banners. I should put up subscribe. I'm not going to put up subscribe. But you know what? You know what we don't have up? You know what we don't have up? I'm sorry, you guys. We playing around now. Okay, wait. That's what we don't have up. All right. So now we don't have to put up that. So you know the deal. If you have a question or comment that you want us to put up, put a Q in front of it. All right. So we are going to go ahead and get started. Everybody's saying E, all of the above. I see y'all. A, B, C, and D. All right. D, which I think D was residency in another country. I think that's what that was. All right. I'm glad to see you guys participating. All right, we're gonna keep it moving. The ice killing of Renee Nicole Good.
So this is part 2 of what we're talking about. So you can go down. Thank you. The ice killing of Renee Nicole Good.
That's what I just said.
Okay, well, this is my part. Here are the facts. Renee Good was 37 years old. She was a U.S. citizen. She was a poet, a writer, and a mother of 3. And she was shot multiple times by an ICE agent.
In the face.
Federal authorities they defended the shooting and said that she was a domestic terrorist who tried to hit the ICE agent with her car, which if you saw the video, I don't have to explain it. You saw what happened.
We're not going to show it now.
Yeah, no, we're not going to show it. The video and eyewitnesses accounts show and tell an opposite story from Christy Nome and the Melon Felon, what they all said.
Right.
They continue to lie, saying the agent was hit and received treatment at the hospital.
Even though he called her an effing bitch and then walked away to his car. Really?
Come on now.
Really? They're playing in our face, people. They're playing in our face. Christy Nome ain't answered a question yet with any kind of sincerity.
She
is lying.
She can't.
He is lying. They are lying. J.D. Vance called her a terror. They are lying. And they're expecting us to just swallow it, y'all.
And if they did that to her,
they will do it to you. I knew stuff was over when all them babies got killed. I knew stuff was over. All right.
You're talking about Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook. Local and state officials are being denied full access, right? So our AG over in Minneapolis or Minnesota is Keith Ellison, and they're being denied access to all of the materials. So to stop them from prosecuting him on a state level, because the Melon Felon right now cannot pardon people on the state level. No president can. All right. So they're being denied full access. Protests erupted worldwide, y'all. This didn't happen at the border.
No.
All right. This did not happen in a war zone. This happened in a U.S. suburb during a so-called federal operation. And this is not an isolated event. That's the thing. I found at least 6 other incidents of ICE shooting unarmed civilians, including a Black man that was nameless when I was researching, but I think somebody, one of our members found his name. And yes, we already know some have been citizens. So is this fear mongering? All you guys who kept saying we're fear mongering, are we still fear mongering? Or is this a systemic signal? A systemic signal of failure. Okay? The U.S. is going down. And if you remain on the ship, we can see the iceberg. We can see the iceberg. Because if this stupid asshole tries to go into Greenland, the rest of NATO, they're already shipping forces over to Greenland. Okay? So when the U.S. shows up, they're going to show up and see the rest of NATO there. That sounds like World War III. That's what that sounds like. I don't know about you. I don't want to be in the middle of European white tribal wars, because that's what it is. That's what it is. Part 3. What on tyranny 20 lessons from the 20th century warns us about? It's not about other countries, y'all. It is about what happens when democracies decay. So first lesson is when force becomes normalized, when a state uses force as routine policy and defends that force by lying, the line between law and tyranny absolutely collapses. Okay? It collapses. Tyranny does not arrive loudly. It arrives when people accept procedure in place of accountability. All right. Oh, well, he was following correct procedure. I was just following, orders. And you see, when people stand up and say that is no longer something that you are allowed to say, just following orders is not something. Like with Mark Kelly, what are they doing? Huh? What are they doing? They are trying to, they've already taken away some of his status, right?
They were trying to take away some of his retirement.
Exactly.
Take his money.
Right? Lesson 2 from On Tyranny.
Oversight is removed. First and foremost.
Right. So,
in Renee Good's case, federal agencies controlled evidence, local officials were sidelines, the narrative was centralized, and this is a classic authoritarian move. When powers fear scrutiny, it centralizes control.
which is exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go on.
I knew America was doomed when no one did anything about the white babies in Sandy Hook, right? Murdered in their classrooms. And they explained it away. Did not pass one law to protect our babies. If they're not going to protect their own babies, they're certainly not going to protect ours.
No.
So what FBAs, what are you staying to fight for? As Rashida said earlier, what does success look like? Because it can't look like what we had before. It can't even look like what we had under Obama, because they were still lynching us. They were still killing us in the streets and getting away with it. So what are you fighting for? And what does success look like? And how long is it going to take you to get there? Because I'm not willing to give up the rest of my life for it. And I'm not willing to give up my kids' life or my grandkids' life to save a country that hates us, to save a country that was built on evil. It's built on evil. The foundation is rotten. So I'm not sure what you're trying to save, but we didn't put on any kind of limits on who's in the chat. So God only knows who's in the chat and what they saying. so they've been killing us since we arrived on this hunk of land.
Oh yeah.
Right. And for those of you who say your people have been in North America since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
They're killing you too.
They are too. Yeah.
They're killing you too.
But when they kill white moms and babies and nothing changes, that's when you should wake up to the fact that America is doomed.
America is doomed, y'all. It's doomed. And it's time to go. It is time to go. All right. We're going to get on to, let's keep it going. All right. And then we'll go to the comments and see what you guys are talking about. Part 4. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, why violence escalates under threat. So Welsing did not describe hatred. If you've read the book, The ISIS Papers, she described system behavior under stress. And when a dominant system can no longer maintain control through economics and consent, it defaults to what?
Policing, surveillance, incarceration, and state violence.
Sound familiar? Which is exactly what is going on right now. Our community needs to wake up to the fact that some things are not salvageable, not in the short term. Germany had 2 decades of prosperity after the wall fell, maybe 3. But they took things for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And now the racist, xenophobic, self-pitying part of their population is back to their old Nazi racist ass tricks. And they too will fail and fall if they don't turn things around soon, like now. Like now. All right? What are you guys talking about? Look.
Hmm.
No one will save us. I'm glad Mark Kelly is fighting back. He should. He should. Right? No, they didn't even care about the dog in the back seat. These people, like the character Joe Morton's character on Rhymes's what's it called? Scandal.
Scandal.
I was about to say Savage. It was Savage. Scandal. They are a virus.
He said it all.
They are a
Whoever
virus.
wrote that line, oh my God.
Everywhere they go, they pillage, they rape, they destroy. They don't bring life, they bring death everywhere they go. Something's got to be done. Something's got to be done. Look, I guess I am a foundational Black American because we were not, my people ain't from North America, though. My people from Africa. I did my DNA. There is not one drop of Native American blood in me as far as they can tell. All right. Now, I guess the stuff does get better over time, but for right now, I'm blackity black, black, black. I have friends who are retired police. They all said that officers cannot shoot into a moving car or walk across in front of a car while interacting with a citizen. They are playing in our face. They're saying, what you saw in that video, don't believe your lying eyes. Y'all, we are in the twilight zone right now. We are in the twilight zone. I knew that some of this stuff was going to happen. We have been warning you guys for over a year and a half now, about 6 to 7 months before the 2024 election. We started talking about this, all right? I have been studying this stuff for a long time. Do you think we will still have elections at this point on a federal level?
My question would be, will it make a difference? If we do or we don't, will it make a difference? Okay, so you have an election, he loses, but then he turns around. Then you can expect more likely to have a civil war because he'll turn around and say, see, that election was rigged. And, they're trying to take the country away and they're trying to blah, blah, blah. And then you're really going to have the nuts out shooting.
Right. So I am not confident that there's going to be another election. I'm not confident there's going to be a 2026 election, November election. And here's the thing, Greta, because she says at the federal level, there is no such thing as the federal level when it comes to elections. Okay, you guys know that, right? There's over 3,000 as it operates today. There are over I'm going to take this off so y'all can see me because it's kind of big. There are over 3,000 counties in the United States. Every single county runs their own election, and they run their own election according to the laws of that state. Yes, they cannot violate any federal laws, but there may be additional laws that the state has, all right? And so they have to run their election according to that. Who gets on the ballot is according to state laws. The Republican Party and the Democratic Party don't have anything to do with that. They only have something to do with who their representative on the ballot is. Okay. So like when I was the executive director, I had to approve every single person who wanted to run under the Democratic ticket for president. Yes, little old me. All right. And so there's little old me's in all 50 states. I was about to say 49 other states, but we ain't there no more. So 50 states, right? There's little old me's. And they are deciding, in the Democratic Party anyway, who gets on that ballot. Now, obviously, I wasn't gonna not let Joe Biden get on the ballot or Kamala Harris or who are you, Bernie Sanders, all of those folks. But there was some crazy ass people trying to get on our ballot.
Mm-hmm.
And I blocked one of them. I blocked one of them, but I couldn't block all of them. So when you say federal elections, I want you all to understand it's very important on who you are electing to the clerk recorder and who is in charge of elections locally. Okay. In Colorado, our AG just put a in jail for trying to cheat during the 2024 elections. I think it was from
Trump,
the 2020.
she's the same one that Trump wants to pardon, but he can't.
He can't because she was prosecuted by
the state. Yeah.
All right. So it's not like elections happen at a federal level. Even the way that each state decides who they are going to elect as president is state, right? So for instance, in Colorado, up until the last election, or maybe 2020, we had caucuses for who was going to be our presidential nominee. Republicans had caucuses. Iowa has caucuses, right? There are so many ways that we elect people. But what is most important is three things. One, make sure you have a good Secretary of State because they are in charge of elections, all right? Make sure you have a good Attorney General at the state level because they will prosecute as long as we still have courts. And then make sure that you have a good clerk and county recorder so that the local elections that handle the federal elections as well, right? Each county prints, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and everybody else who will be running for president, whatever, right? That happens at the county level. The county pays to print those ballots. They don't get money from the federal government to do that, okay? So the only way that he can postpone the 2026 election is to declare a state of emergency. And we know he loves declaring a state of emergency. And SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, loves allowing him to do it. So I am not convinced that 2026 midterms is going to get the United States. First of all, it's too late to get them out of this mess. It's just too late. The U.S. has destroyed too many relationships, and we are out here on our own, y'all. We are out here on our own, okay? Nobody else wants to be bothered. And it doesn't matter if we get them under control now. It's going to take generations to repair that. It took generations to create those allies. And I'm not saying that was a good thing. It kept things stable, but NATO, the West, did some pretty effed up stuff in developing nations. I don't know why they hate us. Well, read a book.
Yeah, they tell you
read a
why.
newspaper. And learn all the effed up stuff that the United States, on behalf of national security and the rest of NATO, have done. They've done some effed up stuff. And they're still doing it. All right? So things are not going to be turning around too easily. All right? They're not. All right, let's see what else you guys are talking about before we keep it moving. That's why no one nation should be too powerful. The world allowed America to mistreat Black people and gain world domination. And now a demonic madman is at the helm. Yeah, right. Like, who's going to come kidnap our effed up leader? Somebody said, I want some good too. They say now they have it good in Venezuela. No, they don't. my tutor lives there. So I'm getting firsthand, and she lives in Caracas, and she can see the capital from her window. So I'm getting firsthand knowledge. But let's just say they're right. Now they're getting some good. I want some good.
They just got rid of one man. They didn't get rid of the regime.
No, they didn't. But like, who's gonna help us get some good? Get that man out of there. China, Russia, you listening?
China, if you're listening,
where's Hillary's emails?
Russia, if you're listening, help
a sister out. All right, it's not funny, but all right.
Yeah, it is funny.
It is kind of funny. All right, all of these books that we are quoting, I've read all of them. I've read all of them. Read, people, read. All right. So this is from Rothstein. He wrote The Color of Law. If you have not read The Color of Law, it is a must read. It was written by this Jewish man. Can't remember his first name, but it's Rothstein. Information is in the description below. And he basically documents the redlining system from its inception until it supposedly was outlawed. All right. And he's got firsthand accounts of the nefarious, diabolical crap that the virus type people perpetrated on us. It is diabolical. Diabolical. All right. So this is not a departure from America. What has been happening is not a departure. It's just happening to more people. They have been terrorizing us and getting away with doing what they did to Miss Good. They've been doing that to us for the whole time. This is not who we are. This is exactly who you are, America. This is exactly who you are. The only difference now is you're eating your own as well. I guess, because you can't go to a picnic and watch, your friends hang a black man while you guys sit around and eat watermelon. You need some other kind of stimulus. So now you're killing your white babies and you're killing your white moms. That's what you're doing. And you're calling it justice. Now, The Color of Law proves segregation, policing, resource hoarding were created and enforced by the state. So when people say this isn't who we are, history says otherwise, right? History says otherwise. This is why. And this is who the state has always been when pressured. Always. That's what they did in the late 1800s, right? When they did that deal, that compromise to sell us out. This is who they are. And so our oppression, the redlining, the mass incarceration was state sanctioned. It was the law. And the enforcement of those laws is responsible for damages. Those damages were done to our community. And when damages are done legally, there must be repair to the damage. I know we've got some attorneys in the chat, right? When damages are done, legally, there must be repair to the damage, also known as reparations. Reparations, all right? Part 4, the fourth turning. Who does what? No single generation saves a collapse.
Yeah, history shows a coalition, baby boomer prophets, ignite moral conflict, polarize the nation. Gen Xers, nomads, execute disruption, operate in chaos. Millennials, heroes, build and legitimize new systems. Gen Z, artists, codify, legalize, stabilize what comes after. If we do it right, there can be a way to restoration, but a lot of us will not be alive to see it.
No, we won't. All right. And then after this, after we get to your comments, we'll talk about what strategy looks like now. All right. Because systems do not care about morality, unfortunately. Unfortunately. So.
Hey, Dennis.
Hey, Dennis. Thank you. Seems like some rethugs are trying to pair back to Trump's war powers. It's about time. I don't feel like getting into World War III. I don't know about y'all, but we've been very fortunate.
There was I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but I was listening to, he's from Africa. And he was talking about all the different things that...
Light-skinned dude?
No.
Okay.
Older gentleman, and he was talking about all the different things that's going on in the United States with Venezuela and blah, blah. He just laid it out and said, this is the real deal. This is what's going on. And he said that we are in the start or the opening of World War III.
Yeah.
He said, but all we could do is hope and pray that none of the superpowers makes the mistake of setting off a nuclear weapon. He said, because we're so close to it.
We're so close
right
to
now.
it.
We're so close to it right now.
Yep. So maybe they're finally remembering the importance of NATO and how unhinged this president is, right? Because if NATO goes down, it's over. Yeah, it's over anyway, Dennis. It's just slowly over. And it does not have to end in war necessarily. But America being the superpower, over. And it didn't have to be this way. It did not have to be this way. Racism is why. Racism is why. Because there was no even all the crap that they did around the world, they didn't need to do any of that stuff. They didn't need to do any of that stuff. But at least when they were doing it, then they were dropping in some money and some aid and stuff too. Now they cut off the aid. So there's no there's only stick, no carrot. Only stick, no carrot. Hey, Madalena, welcome for becoming a new member. We get together every Sunday before we go live. Chitty chat behind the scenes. And we also, if you're a legend, if you're a Utopian legend, you can come on live with us every other Thursday. Hey, Josette. Thank you. Y'all know this goes to our scholarship fund, and we appreciate every single dollar donated, and our community appreciates it too. I think we have given away just in 2025 almost 30 scholarships. Y'all. Now, half y'all don't be showing up to group coaching. I don't know. But hey, if you're logging in and you're getting the information and you don't need to show up, it's all good. It is all good. All right. And what else are you guys talking about? Going all the way down to the bottom. It's bad enough that the melon felon has access to the nuclear code.
Isn't it?
With his dementia ass.
And he got all these idiot, sorry ass sycophants that wouldn't tell him.
No, they wouldn't tell him. No. I mean,
regardless.
When he first came down that escalator and he said he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and still win, I was like, yeah, right. But now I believe him. And when they can't control the world, they're going to control us. That's right. History has shown us this several times, and this is what the whole deportations are about. Yeah. Yes. Look, part of it is to save his ass. Epstein. Those Epstein files are going to rock the world if we can ever get them out. Because it's not just the United States, folks. There are a lot of powerful people in those files. And they're probably helping prop up Trump so that the files do not get released. But we are being run by an adjudicated rapist and an admitted pedophile. Okay, he already talked about how he went into the teen pageant.
Yeah, this little teenagers.
Well, they're half dressed, because I'm inspecting. And y'all elected him. It blows my mind. It blows my mind, right, Christine? Racism, greed, and arrogance got us here. Yes. And it's going to bring us down. It's going to bring us down. Thank you, Mona. Thank you. Love the kids. Thank you for the super sticker or super chat, super sticker. Again, it all goes to our scholarship fund. All goes, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Britain has a lot to answer for as well.
They do, and they're so weak on him. They're so weak.
Stephen Miller thinks America can make over the Northern Hemisphere. I know. He, in his own demonic image, because if that man, if I believe that people could actually get possessed by Satan, I would say he's one of them. He looks like he is possessed by Satan, doesn't he? He looks like Voldemort. Okay, what are you guys talking about? I want to know, like, who's going to go fight? They're going to have to reenact
They're going to implement the
draft. And I'm going to make sure my son's
and
about
they're going to
it.
have so many people running across the border to avoid it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because I don't care how much these people say they do not want to see their little sons have to go to battle.
Mm-mm. No.
For what?
Right. And you know how they're going to do it. You know how they're going to do it, right? All the rich folks will be able to buy their way out of it.
Yeah, they'll empty the jails and
That's right. That's right.
arrest more people and send them to jail.
It's okay to be afraid. It is not okay to allow fear to paralyze you. Okay. We all have some fear. We do. We would be goofy not to. I remember the day after he got elected. Oh my God. I knew all of this was going to happen. I knew it. And I just didn't know how fast it was going to happen. And my stomach was knotting up and everything. And I'm like, oh my God, we've got to get our assets out of the United States because this man is about to tear this shit down. And no one will want to move there. And here we are. Here we are. All right. But we can be afraid, but we can't allow it to paralyze us. Okay. I think he cheated to win too, Benita. I really do. I'm not sure that the 2024 election, the presidential election was.
No, I think
right?
it wasn't legit at all. And I think the Democrats are too chicken shit to contest it.
Yeah.
Chicken shit.
No, yeah.
I said that. Chicken shit
yeah,
with a capital C.
They are chicken shit. They are chicken shit. But if you are still a registered Democrat, participate in the primaries. And I think the litmus test should be, will you abolish ICE? And if the answer is no, then don't vote for them. You know, they want to do a litmus test about Gaza when there's a genocide happening in the United States. Not to say that we shouldn't care about the genocide in Gaza, but clean your own house first. Right? Get the piece of wood out of your eye before you talk about the speck in my eye. Right? And what about the murder of the baby in the files? I haven't heard about that. I'm not sure all about, Angie, what you're talking about. Let us know. He said that shit. Yo, he said that. Your president said, well, 12 is a little young, but 13? Like, do 13-year-olds even have training bras? I mean, what the hell? Who are these people? Who are these people? They should be. They should be. They should be. Rashida said folks will elect anything to make sure we get nothing. Mm-hmm. It's true, right? We know that white folks will vote against their interest if they can ensure that at least the black folks won't get none, right? White folks were all about welfare. They were all up into welfare until the face of welfare became a black woman. And that was done on purpose. It's not like we made the majority of people on welfare or anything like that. They started creating those laws, the man can't be in the house and all that SHIT after the civil rights movement. But before that, we saw Dust Bowl women, right? With their babies and stuff, right? That was the face of welfare. Yeah. They knew what they were doing. And yeah, I've got a Substack that's teed up, and it's probably going to come out tomorrow, giving a little bit more history about that, because they're full of it. They are just full of it. Elon and Ivanka placed voting machines in several states. See, that's the thing. That should be against the law, because like we don't in Colorado, I don't think we had any of those machines. And the election turned out in Colorado the way I would expect it to turn out. There was no way on God's green earth that Trump was going to win Colorado. Like, he couldn't even win the primary in Colorado. And then in 2020, they just refused to have a primary because they knew he wasn't going to win. So the Republican Party just didn't even have a primary. Yes, they were allowed to do that. I told you, parties get to decide how people get on their ballot. All right. And so they decided. And everybody voted and said, yeah, that's cool. So that's what they did. Everybody within the Republican voting party. Not regular voters. No, you got to be a precinct committee person. If you want to stay, if you want to fight, if you can't leave right now, or if there's just some reason why you can't leave, become a precinct committee person. Sometimes they're called precinct chairpersons for the party. Change the party from within. It's a lot of power. It's a lot of power for a little bit of work. For instance, if somebody dies in office or somebody gets really, really sick and cannot complete their term, that vacancy is filled by those precinct committee people. They are the ones who vote for who fills that seat, even on a congressional level, even on a senatorial, maybe not Senate, but on a congressional level, definitely. And then, of course, on the state level stuff too. All right. Precinct committee person or precinct chairperson. You get inside, you get to talk to the elected so that stuff like what Benita's talking about does not happen. All right. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. I know it's being funded by, I believe it's being funded by the oligarchs as well. So it's disgusting. I thought they wanted us out of the military. 100%. I thought they wanted us out of the military 100%. So you're welcome, JC Love. Thank you for your message and powerful guidance. I signed up for this winter workshop. Yay, trying to move my peace out date to this summer 2026. You can do it. You can do it. Look, when we made the decision December 2021, our money was not totally right yet. But I had figured out a way to live off of one Social Security check. At the time, I want to say it was only $2,500 per month. Okay. Find a lifestyle that fits the money you have. Okay. Find a lifestyle that fits the money you have. We do not live large. We're in a walk-up. It's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. All right. We got to share the toilet. All right. We do have a washing machine and a dishwasher and all that kind of stuff. I ain't primitive.
It's comfortable.
I ain't that primitive. We ain't gonna go there.
No, it's comfortable.
But we're not living large. But we're comfortable and we're at peace. And when we walk, like, as a matter of fact, I went to see if one of my favorite pizza shops was open. It was already dark. Rick didn't say, what do you mean you going to see? It's dark. No, he said, okay, see you in a minute. And I was gone too long because they didn't open for another hour. I thought I read 5:30 because they use a military time here, 24-hour clock. In my mind, it said 5:30. It was really 6:30. And so I was sitting there for a minute and then I looked. I was like, oh, shoot, they don't open for another hour. So then I ended up walking to the other store to get some food and da-da-da-da-da. I was gone for 30 minutes in the dark. Did you worry?
No.
This is the life you can have outside of the. I was walking. I didn't get into my car because we don't have a car. We don't have to have a car. I was walking in the dark by myself. And I felt totally safe. Yeah. There is so much good life outside of the United States, y'all. Don't let people fool you. Don't let people fool you. Okay. When we go sit in the park, nobody comes to ask us why we're sitting there. We can sit at the cafe across the street all day long. Literally, he will let us sit there from the time he opens until the time he closes and will not say boo. And nobody's going to call the cops to ask why we still sitting there. Are we casing the joint or some nonsense? Right? That's how we get to live. When a cop approaches me on the street, I don't expect that there's going to be some nonsense. Like Rashida said earlier, my hairs don't go up on the back of my neck. You know, the last time I had an interaction for a cop, he was giving us directions on how to get around the parade. Have a good time, he said in English. Okay. That's how our life is. Can we be some asylum seekers?
They said nope, 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 nope.
Okay, look, I think they need to be discriminatory about who gets to claim asylum. I don't think the virus folks, the MAGA folks, should be able to claim asylum. Their asylum is right there. And I think all POCs should be able to claim asylum, right? Hydron, new member. Thank you for becoming a member. You know, we go live. We go live privately with all of our members an hour before we go live with you guys, okay? I cried the entire day because my spirit knew what it meant. Yeah, when Trump got elected. That was a rough week, y'all. That was a rough week, I have to say. I just knew. And here we are. Look, if I still lived in Colorado, I'd probably still be registered as a Democrat too, because at the local level, I believe they still caucus. Okay, so I can vote in the primary for president, but they caucus for everything else in the primary. So nothing I can do. So I unaffiliated as taking a stance. CK says Schumer's response to abolishing ICE was advocacy for reform instead. Schumer's got to go.
Yeah, he's wasting. Why is he wasting everybody's time?
The corporate Dems, they need to go. He's like, we will fight. We will fight. Remember when he was chanting whatever the hell he was chanting? Besides that and that performative bullshit with the Kente clause miss me. They think that they can do little bitty things like that and shut us up.
They've gotten away with it for too long.
Because they have gotten away with it. Now, I don't know about you, but I am tired of having the same conversations that my mom, my 85-year-old mom, and my 87-year-old dad were having back in the day. Tired. And we're still talking about the same things. The same thing he was fighting for. We're still fighting for it. When do we get to just live? When do we get to just live, just be, right? Just go after our dreams and, love up on people and experience and cool things. When do we get to just do that stuff? Why do we always have to be fighting? I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of fighting, especially when the people who are supposed to be fighting with us are actually fighting against us. Democratic Party. Okay? Status quo is against us. Let's get things back to normal is against us. Because normal for us means what happened to Miss Good happens to us continues to happen to us on a regular basis. Yeah. We get shot in the face and then they lie about it. What did China say? What did China say? As an Air Force veteran, I can tell you that this regime will indeed enact mandatory military conscription or draft, or they will seek military recruits loyal only to Trump. Mercenaries. I would not be surprised. All right. I think we got all of your comments, so we're going to start wrapping this up. A recent tranche of documents released by U.S. Department of Justice under the Epstein Files Transparency Act included an unverified FBI tip. You know, this is not the first time that they've done this. This is like the second or third time where they've redacted something, and then all you had to do was like load it into Word doc or whatever, and you can take the
redaction,
and you could take the redaction off.
Yeah,
like at least with Hitler, the trains ran on time. They didn't do stupid shit like that. Like he thinks he's he's not as smart as Hitler. He's as evil, that's for damn sure. But he's not as smart. And his people aren't smart. They don't even know how to properly redact something. It's ridiculous. I'd like to know what the unverified FBI tip was. Hey, Adrian, thank you. Trump is attacking Minnesota. Yes, they are sending thousands more ICE agents.
The sad thing is going to get worse.
Yeah, so I heard Walls say that he was going to enact the local National Guard, I'm about to say Coast Guard, in Minnesota. He said, I hate to do it, but we're not going to allow this. So I heard him say that on the news maybe yesterday or the day before. I don't know what the latest is on that. Greta says, if you have a Wise account or card, it is wise to start moving that money into other currencies. Yes. Yes. I love the pun. Indeed. All right. All right. We're going to get back to it. Just to remind you guys, every single donation goes to our scholarship fund for Beyond the Bling. That is our financial freedom program for late bloomers like ourselves. Everything that we learned to get from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million is in there. And look, y'all, I know that economic times are changing. I know that it is not the same as when we were doing it. That's why we have monthly group coaching. And we are updating materials. So, you know, the fundamentals are still the same. The examples just will be different. Okay. Right. The fundamentals are still the same and you can still do it. Right. It is not too late yet, but time ain't as long as it has been. As my great grandfather used to say, baby, time ain't long as it has been. All right. Here we go. What strategy looks like now systems do not care about morality, right? So we said systems do not care about morality. They care about power. And you saw who was behind that dais at the inauguration, behind the melon fountain. They care about power. They care about maintaining power. All right. That means real strategy must include, number one,
multiple income streams.
All right. We've got the side hustle challenge coming up. If you need another income stream, we can take you from thinking, I don't know what I want to do. We can help you hone down what you want to do and get you to launch in 10 weeks. Okay. Let's start making that money. All right.
Also, it should include non-US banking options.
Reduce your dollar concentration. I'm about to move another chunk of money out of the United States.
Yeah.
Because if I keep waiting, it's just going to lose value. And we can't afford that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get legal residency abroad.
Start working on a second passport. All right. We're still doing research. I'm going to start. I continue to look for the African nations that will allow citizenship by DNA. But I did pull a list of the easiest pathways, along with the strongest passports and the most stable governments. So I probably will put that out on a Substack article. But I have started pulling that list and going through it to triple check it. So look, There are pathways out there. You don't necessarily have to do a golden visa like the Nomad Capitalist says, where you've got to invest $500,000 or something like that. Now there are some, like in Cape Verde, which is a pretty strong passport, and it's a stable country, where it's only like 100,000, 125,000, which sounds like a lot unless you're selling your house and you're walking away with 250, 300, right? Then taking half of that to buy another passport, especially when crazy stuff is starting to happen with our passports, number one. Number two, our passport is losing value. Other countries are saying, you know what, y'all need to go somewhere, and they don't want to let us in. So if you are Caribbean and your grandparents are Caribbean, get that passport. That we've got a lot of Caribbeans who are also in the UK, or Black folks who were born in the UK, but then moved to the States. Get that UK passport. Get it now.
Yeah.
Get it now. Get it now. All right. Get those passports. And then for the rest of us, we have to do it the hard way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be that hard. All right.
Yeah.
You want to also get skills that travel. Skills that travel. All right. So even if you want to sell products, you need to be able to sell those products from anywhere in the world. Okay. Skills that travel. What else?
Strong community networks.
That if you want to move abroad, you need to be in community. Okay. You need to be in community. Our membership, like I said, we get together every single week before we go live. We have a community with Beyond the Bling and our Side Hustle Challenge. And I think that's the one that we're going to build out, because I want off Facebook. We have Fire Over 50 on Facebook, but you guys, after Facebook banned me, we're letting people in only to transition you guys to another platform. We're still figuring that out. But the Our Black Utopia community is strong. It is strong. The meetup that we are having in June, this will be our 5th meetup. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
This will be our 5th meetup. It's Juneteenth week. We've already had 3 info sessions for people who want to come. And even if you don't want to move to Portugal, come to see what is possible. The community that we have built here, there are similar communities in other countries. All right. We've been talking about them. So even if Portugal is not the place, you will meet other folks who are like-minded, who are also getting out or trying to get out, or who have left already. And that will help you. The people who came to the 2025 meetup, they are still communicating on the WhatsApp group. They are still communicating. They are still sharing information. And some of those folks have already moved abroad and they're sharing their information. Okay. Get in community. These networks are so important. A second passport, y'all, it's not a flex. It's insurance against state failure. And that's what we're dealing with. All right. So for those of you who are watching from the future, you can answer right quick in the comments. If legitimacy is being replaced by force, and it is, what is your first strategic move? A, second passport. B, banking and income diversification. C, residency abroad. D, community networks. E, all of the above. Y'all should know the answer now. You should know the answer now. All right. Obviously, it's all of the above. It's all of the above. We need to be doing all of the above. All right. You all know we have permanent residency in Mexico. Mexico's not playing with Trump either. They're not playing. And it's really, really hard to act stupid with the powers that be when you have a stable democratic government, democratically elected government, like they do in Mexico. Okay. Cartel and all this stuff notwithstanding, people are not going to just sit by while he invades Mexico, just like they're not going to sit by while he invades Greenland. Like I said, Venezuela's one thing, and that was tragic and should not have happened, and it was illegal. But Venezuela, it's a weak country, it's a very poor country, and they were ruled by a dictator, and the people did not like that dictator. So, that's one thing. That's one thing. Hopefully we can get out of the country for the OBU meetup.
Come on now.
I suggest refundable tickets. You guys will be able to get out. I think there's so much going on that they don't have time for this part yet. But we've already heard about people's passports, weird stuff happening when they show up someplace. I heard something on Roshida's live cast earlier, and then someone in the chat, in our behind the scenes chitty chat, said that it was somebody's U.S. passport was reported stolen by Interpol. And so when he showed up in Thailand,
I read something about that today too. Yeah.
Okay, so he showed up in Thailand, and then when he got back to the States, they said, "Oh no, everything's fine." So some weird stuff is going on, most definitely. But I do not believe they're going to have luck. They're going to be able to get organized enough. Not that they wouldn't want to, but they're stupid, right? And they've got all these fires going. And it's going to be really hard to say, okay, nobody can leave. We're going to invade Greenland and Panama and Colombia and Mexico, and keep killing, the next Renee Nicole Good.
I think if he comes to that point, he'll have to kill a whole lot more people. A whole lot more people.
Exactly. So come to the meetup in June. It's during the Juneteenth week. We're going to have a ball. You need at least a week and a half, y'all. All right, you need at least a week and a half. Yeah. Don't be coming for no
4 days.
4 days or something. First of all, you especially if you're coming from the West Coast, you're going to lose 8 hours. Right, you're going to lose 8 hours. So anticipate jet lag and all of that. All right, anticipate jet lag and all of that. But we have a ball. We build community, and okay, the U.S. If the U.S. goes through with invading Greenland, who would that impact? How would that impact expats living in the EU?
Well, we don't know. Can't really answer that question.
I have no idea. Why is this stuff in blue? Some things have changed. We're gonna work on our little branding and stuff, because that's not what we're supposed to have. Anyway, I don't know, because here's the color right here, because that's really weird. That is really weird. I don't know if the EU would necessarily start saying that Americans cannot immigrate here, or all Americans must leave, et cetera, especially because there's still bases here as well, right? But it could get sketchy. And here's the other thing. This is what I want you guys to know. Rick and I blend in here, okay? We blend in, and you can blend in too. Black folks are everywhere. They don't know. They can't tell the difference between the Africans and us. They can't tell the difference. Most people think I'm Angolan or from Cape Verde until I start talking. Okay? So everyday life, nothing's changed. But somebody did spray paint, kill the USA.
Death to America. Death to the USA.
Death to the USA. I took a picture of it. I'll post it. In YouTube for the members and stuff. I'll post it. So that's the first time I've seen that. I saw a lot of stuff about the Palestinians and Israel and but that was the first time I'd seen that. So I'm not saying that it is impossible that we will be treated differently. They can only treat us differently on paper, because walking down the street, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Right.
Well, hell, even Chega said something against him going into
Greenland.
No, it said something about him going into Venezuela.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right wing here is it's bad. but it's nothing compared to the architects of pure abject oppression and racism, which is the United States. The United States perfected that stuff and then exported it, right? The Nazis studied the United States. The apartheid South African folks studied the United States. That's how they learned. That's how they learned, right? And so, for all of those who want to stay and fight, I have to ask again, for what? What are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? And what does success look like? Because back to normal is not success. Like, there has never been a time in America where I have felt 100% safe, where I have felt like a 100% of a citizen with equal rights. There has never been a time. The only thing that I could say is the I ain't gonna let them stop me, I'm gonna get mines attitude, which gets tiring. It gets so tiring. Aren't you guys tired of putting on a mask every day and putting on your armor when you leave? You don't have to live this way. You do not have to live this way. They are making it difficult for our expats and military internationally. Tell us more, Angie. What do you see? Because within our bubble, it's just another day. They're talking about when's the next Friday sangria. That's what they talk about. you know, but other folks see different things. How do you work out the euro to US to book a call? Oh, you don't worry about that. Your bank will do that, baby. It'll do that. Okay. So you don't have to worry about that. Just like when you come here and you use your American Express or your Chase card or your Capital One card or what have you, right? You're paying in euros. Right. But when you get your bill, it's going to be in dollars. Right. So don't worry about it. Just go ahead and book and it will do the translating on the back end. No, there's no US base in Portugal that I know of. No, but there is a commissary, and we have veterans here who can use TRICARE and stuff like that.
I think don't they have an embassy office or something here?
Well, of course, they've got the embassy,
right.
And that's where the commissary is, at the embassy. But they don't have a base in Portugal that I know of.
No, not a military base. No.
Yeah. So, all right. What else are you guys saying before we let you go? True Judah, I will check for your email. I've never felt safe either, Benita. Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? On the internet, if you guys just pay attention to the internet, it seems like the whole world hates America. And they do. But that doesn't mean they hate Americans. And we blend in. So, like I said, our day-to-day life, when I went out, our landlord lives next door. So our Portuguese landlord lives next door. The wife was coming out as I was coming in, stop, chitty chat, and do all of that in Portuguese. Yeah, that's hard. But, and life just goes on, right? The lady at the grocery store, oh, boa tarde, right? She's Black. It's just life.
Yeah.
It's just life.
Yolanda's, that one. Oh, you went above it.
Right here?
That one.
Yeah.
What part of Mexico do you suggest? That's kind of hard. What do you like? What are you looking for? Different parts of Mexico has different things, different weather patterns, different, you like the beach. You got Puerto Vallarta, you got all kinds of places with beaches and stuff like that. So when anyone asks us, well, what part of such would you suggest? You just need to go out and explore and see what works for you.
Yeah. And the other thing, get our Move Abroad Toolkit, okay? Because it walks you through some questions that you need to ask yourself. Because what is right for us is not necessarily right for you, right? Like, I love the beach, but I don't like humidity. I don't like heat, humidity. And The only beaches that are less humid are in Baja California. And I don't want to do Baja California. So if I lived in Mexico, I would be living inland. So, then again, and then the other thing is not only are your needs and wants, but within your needs and wants, how much you got, how much money you got. Like Merida, I can't do Merida. It's too high.
If you like heat, if you
But-
want to be hot.
Right. But people from Houston are like, I'm about that life. Some people from Houston, right? I'm about that life. And that's fine, right? Very safe. Most of the major cities, I have felt safer in the major cities that we've been to in Mexico than I've ever felt in any place in the United States. Whether that's Mexico City, Querétaro, outside of Querétaro, where we, went camping and stuff like that. San Miguel de Allende, Lake Chapala, all of these places have huge Black expat populations. Well, Lake Chapala expat population, not as many Blacks. But all these places have Black populations, large expat populations. And then you go over to Quintana Roo, over in that area, and you've got Tulum and all of that. A lot of Black folks down there as well. So you need to make your list of needs and wants. Okay, that's where you start. What do you need your new place to have? What does it absolutely have to have? And then what's the icing on the cake? What are your wants? It would be nice if this. It would be nice if that. Right?
Yeah. And go visit.
Yeah. Especially like we know some people who move sight unseen. And I cannot say that there's anything wrong with that necessarily. You know you. You know you. And you know how adaptable you are. Okay? We basically moved to Portugal sight unseen. I say we did a scouting trip, but we had basically already made up our mind. We had already started applying before we even got on the soil to see it, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So we'd already invested money. We made the decision, in 2 days, 3 days?
Probably about 3 days, yeah.
Can you do this? Yeah. Can you? Yeah. And that was it. So, so CoverGirl asked, is there even still time to get out? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But don't hesitate, y'all. Don't hesitate.
Put in for it. It's important to start the paperwork, and because you can move around while you're waiting for your paperwork to be approved and stuff too.
Yeah, you don't have to wait until everything is totally done. There's lots of ways to get out sooner than later. The biggest thing that you need to think about is, how are you going to support yourself? Where is the money coming from, right? And then make a list of all the places where that amount of money is going to give you the lifestyle you want.
Mm-hmm.
And you might be surprised on how little you need outside of the United States, especially with no car. Please. The car thing, like, we ain't paying for no gas. We're not paying for car insurance, much less a car note. For some people, that right there is $1,000, anywhere from $500 to $1,000 out of their budget, depending, right? So, yeah, there is still time. If you've got the money figured out, but you don't have a good amount of savings, but you've got income, think about being a bit nomadic, and you can still get out now. Okay? Look for places right now today. When we get off, there's 3 places that I know of offhand where you do not have to live there and you can get residency. You just have to go on a vacation and check in. And that's Mexico, Costa Rica, and Panama. All 3 of those places, you can get residency and you don't have to live there. I think Costa Rica, you have to check in once a year. And I think Panama, once every 2 years. Mexico, once you get permanent, you don't ever have to check in. If you get temporary in Mexico, you have to check in when it's time to renew. Okay? So we have the permanent right, until they take it away, to live in Mexico. And that's always going to be our backup plan. But yeah, if it were me right now, I would be trying to Get those residencies, even if they were not my top choices. I would get those residencies. And then I would just get out of Dodge. Remember, for today, and probably until summertime, the US passport will get you 3 months to even a year on a tourist visa in too many countries to count. Most countries. I think latest check, we get visa on demand basically in 186 countries, something like that. Something like that. Sometimes you have to put in a little paperwork ahead of time, but not wait to be, approved. Which reminds me, we got to do our thing for England. They let us off last time because it was new. So England has a new thing. So we're going to have to fill out some paperwork. I think it's good for 5 years or something like that. But yeah, I would be nomadic. If I couldn't make a decision, I go to this place for 3 months, put your stuff in storage, take 3 suitcases and get out of Dodge. Get your paperwork together and get out of Dodge. All right. You do not have to stay there. You do not have to stay there. All right. I think we got another super sticker. So I wanted to give a shout out to Adrian. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm an engineer. I'm wondering if I could seek employment outside of the US. I'm still new to my career. Hey, Adrian, I don't know how old you are. Yes, you could always seek employment outside of the US. If you work for a major corporation that is global, I would start looking at positions within that company in another country. So a transfer. That's one of the things that I would start doing. What you don't want to do is like come to a place like Portugal that has a very low cost of living and then try to find a job here as an engineer. You're going to be very disappointed with the pay. Okay. This country has a low cost of living because the pay scale is low. Right. So what we're trying to do is take American money, American salaries, and bring it to a lower cost of living. And even with the 15% loss, you still can get a better quality of life in Portugal than you can in America, especially with about $3,000 a month, right? And then Adrian, is there an opportunity for you to work remotely, like almost 100% remotely? There are at least 3 to 4 people in our friends group that are still there, because most of our friends group is older, y'all. But we do have a younger friends group that still have kids and they're still of that age and they're still working.
Yeah.
And they're working here. They do travel back to the United States semi-often, like maybe 3 times a year, 4 times a year. And I was talking to one of our friends and he said it's so weird. He says, I'll be on these Zoom calls. And even though I'm working, every day, because I live here in Lisbon, Portugal, I feel like I'm always on vacation and they're always in the grind. And so that's one of the good things about getting out of the United States. You're ahead, you're 5 hours at least ahead. And so you can get up early, get all those emails answered and all of that stuff before they even wake up. So there are advantages. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would try to find a 100% remote job or seek a transfer. Now, had Kamala gotten elected, I would say to seek out some engineering jobs with the federal government because they will pay for your housing. Right? Two of our mentors, Christina and Aman of Our Rich Journey, they lived in Japan for 8 years, rent free. And he's an engineer, or was an engineer. Now he's retired, been retired about 6 years now. Got to retire before the age of 40, right? So it can happen. It can happen. And even with the world going through craziness, we just have to be a little bit more strategic when it comes to the money, okay? Certain things we cannot count on. For instance, we cannot count on real estate continuing to go up in the United States in value. We cannot count on that because as they isolate and less immigrants are coming, who's buying these houses? half the workforce is, what we got 8 to 9% unemployment in the Black community. And that's only going to get worse. So we have to think about how we're going to invest our money and build wealth a little bit more strategically, understanding the geopolitical implications in all of this. So I know the Fed just lowered their the interest rate a bit. That could help, but in the long term, I don't think we're going to see the growth that we've been seeing. I think it's going to start reversing. I know we've lost value on our house in Denver. I know we have. So we just have to think a little bit differently, but it's still possible. All right. What else are you guys talking about before we let you go? Oops, I just closed it. And I see we've got over 450 people watching. Hopefully we've got 450 thumbs up. Yes. Yes. Is it true expat passports are being refused upon arrival abroad? Yes. But it's anecdotal. It's not like, 10% of all people who are traveling. No, it's this story here, that story here, this story here, that story there. Okay. But I haven't heard expat passports are being refused.
Right. No.
In general, no. There's a reason. There is a reason why, and I'm assuming you mean U.S. expats. There is a reason why a lot of these countries offer the immigration that they do, because they want us to bring our money.
Your
right?
money, yeah.
They want to tax us and do all of the things, and so they're not trying to keep us out. But I think this Interpol thing is interesting. And someone said that they thought they were using AI too much to make these decisions. Probably, who knows? Let's get rid of this. All right. I used the VPN. For what, baby? First of all, thank you. Thank you for the super chat.
The Nordy VPN?
So you use the NordVPN? I'm not sure. I'm not sure why you're telling us this, baby. But we thank you for the donation.
Yes, definitely.
And our community thanks you. It's going to our scholarship fund. Let's start a smart class. Let me see if you're going to tell us some more information down here in the chat. Tell us what you're talking about. But we thank you. All of our scholarship money, all of our donations go to our scholarship for Beyond the Bling. That's our financial freedom program. Send us an email, put scholarship in the subject line. You don't have to give us a sob story or anything like that. You are a utopian, so we know you have integrity. If you ask for it, we're going to assume that you need it, okay? So thank you. All right, let's take that off and see if you guys have anything else you need to say. He doesn't recognize laws. Is there a possibility that Social Security benefits, I guess you may, will be revoked for U.S. expats?
Hope not.
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible.
And I think it is probable, but not in the short term. Let's see what happens if there's an election in 2026. But I don't think in the short term. So, yeah, I used to say we had 10 years. I don't think we even have that yet. I don't think we have 10 years before the fit really hits the sham. I think it's more like 5. But that's if things continue to go the way they're going now. If the spicy whites do not convince their cousins and brothers and sisters to get out in them streets, because we're not going. That's what they want. They want George Floyd type, so they can militarize everything. We're not going out there in them streets. That's what we're not doing. But the spicy whites need to talk to their cousin in them. They need to stay their behinds at home and shut this shit down. Shut it down. As I tell you, if a large enough percentage of folks stay home, I mean, don't go to work. Don't go shopping. Get all your shopping done so you got your food and stuff, right? Prepare. If enough folks stay home, this has been tried before and it succeeded. So we're not talking about something that hasn't been tried. They need to stay home. Shut the shit down. I bet you they wake the F up then. There's not enough AI in the world right now to replace the whole workforce. And AI is not going to pick that fruit. It's not going to pick that food.
No, it's not.
Okay? That's what's not going to happen.
People need to know they have the power.
They need to know that they have power. But we cannot use 1960s style protests and whatnot. This is a different era. This is a different time. And we have a government. We're at the top. See, like I'm thinking about the 60s and we know what happened, right? We know what happened, but that was all local governments. And when it got too out of control, the Fed sent the National Guard in. But this federal government does not believe in the rule of law. This federal government does not believe in the Constitution. I would argue that it does not believe in democracy. I think J.D. Vance, Voldemort, what's his name? Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, and of course the Mellon felon, do not believe in democracy.
No, they don't.
They do not believe in democracy. They want a dictatorship where the oligarchs are in charge and we're truly, truly run by the corporations, which means there are no rules. There are no laws. There are laws for this group of people and laws for that group of people and laws for this group of people. But for all of them, they ain't got no rules. They don't have any laws. And that's obvious because they just shot a white woman in the face and then lied when we saw it happen.
Don't you believe your lying eyes?
And you're going to sit up there and say, oh, you don't even know her name. She a terrorist. She tried to hit him with the car. Really? Because we got about 15,000 angles. We are in scary times, y'all. We are in scary times. Remote work. I think she meant remote work for the VPN. Using a VPN for remote work. That could work, but no.
Be careful.
That the IT department can tell when you're using a VPN, okay? If you guys don't have a sophisticated VPN or IT department, if you're at a smaller company or something like that, But the reason why it can be problematic is because you become a tax resident of the country that you're living in, okay? And so if you are working from Portugal, your company has to pay Portuguese taxes for you. And they might not want to do that. Now, if you get transferred, they already have that stuff set up, right? If you're at one of those big global companies, they already have that stuff set up, right? And so that works fine. But that is why there is an issue. It's not necessarily just about control. It is not just about control. Who better not do what? Better not cancel that Social Security. They better not. I unfortunately, it seems to me that there might be enough expats abroad to make that a tenuous situation. But look, what they have been doing.
These people are so shallow.
It's for real, though. SCOTUS blocked National Guard from entering the cities under Trump administration. I don't see how they can do that. I don't see how they could do that. I don't remember them blocking it for everything everywhere. I thought it was a specific case. I'll look that up. Yes. I think look, it depends on what happens in 2026. But when I say a 5-year timeline, I mean to total collapse. I mean to dystopian. I don't mean 5 years until, you know what I'm saying? And so I don't think that we're going to get to escape from New York in a year or two. I think it's going to take a little bit longer than that. Too many people are still just going about their merry way and going to work and buying new houses and having babies and having reveal parties and all this other shit. I told my son he ain't got to have no kids because this is going to be an effed up world. It's going to be effed up for a while. So for some people, if they quit, they lose their jobs. But for others, if we quit, we will lose our jobs, housing, healthcare, and no food and medicine. I'm not telling people to quit. I'm telling white folks to stay home, call in sick. You have to be a salaried employee, with a little bit of tenure to be able to do that. Call in sick. Everybody who can call in sick for a week. See, and it's like, okay, ABX girl, here's another thing. I don't want any utopian to be in the situation where if they got fired tomorrow, they'd be homeless next month. Okay? None of us should be in that situation. And so if you need help to not be in that situation, give us a call. All right? Give us a call. You should be able to last at least 6 months with no job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The healthcare, when you're not making anything, you will get the subsidies for Obamacare when you're not making anything. So there's that. It's ridiculous that has to be a thing. Can you not do that? It's ridiculous that has to be a thing. Healthcare has to be a thing. Here, it's not a thing. People don't go bankrupt here. You got what, 15,000 X-rays and it costs 60 euro or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
From all these different angles and whatnot. Snap. I call Stephen Miller Renfield. I bet the pastry eats bugs too.
The pasty fucker.
Oh, pasty fucker. See, I didn't know you was gonna say some bad words and stuff. He is pasty. He looks like Voldemort. All right, y'all. We're gonna let you go. We are gonna let you go. We are getting off topic a little bit. Just a little bit. But the 4 books that we mentioned are in the description below. Make a plan. We all have fear, but we can work through that fear. Okay. We have the 5-step exit checklist. I think I put that for free. It's down in the description below. We have the Move Abroad Toolkit, which comes with, emails to walk you through it. It's like 15-page workbook that you're going to work through it and you can get your plan to get out of Dodge. If you need help getting your money straight, there's Beyond the Bling. That's our financial freedom program for late bloomers. And of course, one-on-one coaching, we offer that as well. And if you need another income stream, our side hustle challenge starts in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, y'all. 2 weeks. And we will bring you from idea to launch. If you already have a side hustle, but it's not growing and you don't understand why, get in our side. This is what I used to do for a living, y'all. Before I did politics, I used to help small businesses grow. That's what I used to do. All right. If I can help all them folks, we can help you. All right. We can help you get that other income stream so that you don't have to be making a whole lot of money when you leave, when you are working really hard when you leave. All right. I'm not saying that for the side hustle challenge, everything is going to be passive. But what we are going to do is make sure that we have some passive elements to whatever it is that you're doing. Okay. We want to help you figure that out. And everybody else in the cohort will help you figure it out too. That's one of the good things. All right. So we meet weekly every Saturday for 10 weeks, starting in January. I think January 24th is our first day. All right. Hopefully, y'all hit the like. I know I'm smiling, and I know that this was a tough one. I know that. Okay, wait. Did y'all see the white nationalist list with the bullhorn spewing his idiotic and calling out the Proud Boys at yes, in front of the protesters? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just like the guy who showed up in the Nazi thing, right? With the hood on. And he got to speak at the city council meeting. He got to stay in the meeting. But anybody who said that they were offended by that, they were asked to leave. The United States is doomed. It is unraveling. And killing that white woman, Renee Nicole Good, in her face, in broad daylight, in front of God and everybody, tells us where we are. If they're doing that to a white mom in the suburbs, what are they doing to brown people in the shadows? What are they doing? Exactly. Not quit, but if enough people stand together, the company can't fire everyone. Exactly. I like I said, I think it was Iceland. It was either Iceland or Greenland, where the women, and not all the women, because it's never going to be all. Y'all know only about 4 to 5% of Black folks protested back in the 50s and 60s. Y'all know that, right? And that was enough to get stuff done. I think about 10% or more women stayed home for 2 days, just 2 days. Oh, and they also didn't do any housework. So the men understood all the work that they did. So they didn't go to work and they didn't come home and cook and clean. And they got equal rights. Okay. They only had to be gone 2 days. And men were like, oh, what are we gonna do? Y'all seen the movie A Day Without a Mexican, haven't you? If you haven't seen it, I'm sure it's on Netflix or something. That's what needs to happen. Monica says, I give it 3 years tops. Again, I can't argue with you. I cannot argue with you. It all depends on what's going to happen in 2026. Assert power through economic means. That's right. No more in them streets where they can pull out the dogs and shoot us and do all this other nonsense. No, there are over 330 million people in the United States. The people are the power. We are the power. We are the power. We are the power. All right. We are the power. And the sooner we realize that, then we can take control. So thank you, Greta, for posting stuff and always being helpful, being one of our volunteers. We love you. You know that. And with that, I think we're going to let you go. We love y'all. All right. Stay safe and we'll see you Thursday. Bye. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not going to go yet. We got another super chat. I got to give a shout out. I'll give a shout out to Let's Smart. Oh, I did that one. Okay, I can let you go then. Bye.